Let's pray together, shall we? Heavenly Father, your word tells us that you are the one who gives true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding come from you. Your word says that wisdom enters our hearts and knowledge is pleasant to the soul. These students who will graduate today have dedicated themselves to filling their hearts and their souls with wisdom and with knowledge. I pray, Lord, that you will now bless each of these students with great success. Shield them with your protection. Guide them as they seek the path that you have laid out for them in the future. Bless their parents and their families that have raised them, nurtured them, and encouraged them throughout their lives. And we thank you for all of the wonderful teachers and professors who have invested their lives and their time into each of these students. We pray these blessings in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Dr. Jan Brocker, the Secretary of the GCC Governing Board, will now give the opening remarks.
Thank you, Dean Butterfield. To the class of 2017, it's such an honor and a privilege to share this day with you. It's a day of celebrating your persistence and hard work, your ultimate accomplishments, and for thanking all those friends and family members who have supported you. Now, it will probably involve a lot of hugs, cards, parties, and maybe even some gifts. Okay, but most of all, it's about the gift that you've given yourself. Wherever life leads you after today, whatever path you choose to further reach your goals, you've given yourself the gift of education, and no one can ever take that away. In the words of one of the greatest philosophers of our time, and of course I'm talking about Dr. Seuss, from the places you'll go, congratulations. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. But not quite yet, okay? Now I'd like to introduce, first of all, my colleagues from the GCC, or the Gila Community College Governing Board, Mr. Jay Spihar, President of the Board, Mr. Samuel Moorhead, Mr. Kurt Knaus, and Miss Jennifer White. Some of you may recognize Miss White as the principal at the Rim Country Middle School. Also like to introduce Dr. Stephen Cullen, the Gila Community College Senior Dean, Dr. Phil McBride, the Dean of Instruction for Eastern Arizona College, and some of your wonderfully awesome GCC full-time faculty, Miss Samantha Dorr for biology, Mr. Ty Jones, nursing, Miss Allison Nordquist, mathematics, Mr. James Quinlan, English, and Miss Cheryl Rich, cosmetology. Representing the GCC adjunct faculty who share such rich and valuable experience and knowledge with their students, we have Dr. Carol Jones, geology, and Chief Marty DeMasi, fire science. And now I'll turn the program back over to Dean Butterfield.
Thank you, and let me also recognize the EAC nursing faculty who have joined us today. Thank you very much. Would you please stand? Okay, our first commencement speaker is Sarah Lowe. She's representing the graduating class of 2017.
Last year, around the same time, I was here for my older sister's graduation. I was sitting on this side of the room, right about in that second to last row. And as the student speaker came up here to give her well thought out and prepared speech, I thought to myself, I am so glad that I won't have to do that next year. And here I am. What I did not consider last year is how much of an honor it is to speak, to be the student speaker. I don't know that I'm the most qualified. I'm young and I haven't had much experience yet, but I am truly honored to be chosen to speak before you. And I'm honored to be graduating with all of you here today. As I thought about what I should say, I began to remember the last few years and the different elements of Gila Community College. One of the best parts of attending a community college is that it is smaller and more personal. We are able to get to know our instructors and even our classmates in a way that students at a university just don't have the same opportunity to do. We are also able to share classroom experiences and perhaps even relate to one another in a unique way, because most of us have taken the same classes, or at least a class with the same instructors. Many of us took at least one English course with Mr. Quinlan and learned just how hard his classes are. Yet, we learned that we can make a good outline, and we wrote papers. We learned that we can get help, we can work hard, and succeed despite the challenges, with an instructor who is hard, but also very encouraging. Some of us collected insects for Biology 181 with Samantha Dorr, and we learned that we can indeed pick up big beetles with our bare hands. If you're like me, you screamed and flowed your arms around like a freaked out child, but we still did it. We also learned to read the directions on her tests in order to find opportunities to draw a small picture and get bonus points. Personally, I will never forget that ATP is the energy currency for the cell. Of course, we learned so much more than that. We learned how to work in a group from Dr. Herbster in Psychology 101. It wasn't always enjoyable, but throughout our lives, we will have to work with people that we won't necessarily get along with. This course taught us life skills and how to appreciate different learning styles and personalities and work alongside those who are different than us, despite our own comfort zones. Many of us took a class or two together, and we shared small things in common. We still had unique sets of courses and experiences that we don't all have in common. We had all of our own unique paths. But we did share one very important thing in common. We succeeded. We accomplished a great deal at Gila Community College. We each made the important decision to attend college in the first place. And we finished what we began. We finished well. Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Steve Jobs, George Lucas, Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, Tom Hanks, Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Dean, Queen Latifah, Walt Disney. These are but a few successful people who also attended community college. Oftentimes, community college is seen as less of an accomplishment than attending a university or a four-year college. Some of us here today have probably had someone treat our college experience as something less or just community college. That's not accurate. We truly accomplished something great during our time at Gila Community College. Through each challenge and stressful moment, we learned and we grew. I am so proud to join you all in celebration of what we accomplished together. The time has come for some of us here today to move on to another chapter in our lives. Perhaps for some, another college or university is just around the corner. For others, maybe an adventure in another state or a new job. But let's not forget that through the stress, the fear, the exhaustion, and at times lack of desire, we persevered, we succeeded, and we finished strong. Most of us with family and friends and teachers supporting us in our endeavors. On behalf of myself and my fellow graduates, I want to thank our teachers, family, and friends for helping us to get where we are today. As I look out into this crowd, I can tell that we are still being supported and encouraged as we embark on new journeys and experience new challenges. We are all here to celebrate talented and smart individuals who have come far and will only continue to go farther. Maybe some of us will go on to start the next $1 million business, or make incredible strides in technology, or even earn the next Academy Award. Who knows? But wherever we go, this college has helped to prepare us for the next leg of our journey. We've done really well, and I believe we are now ready to move on to the next stage of our lives and continue to do well on whatever is coming next. I'd like to end with a Dr. Seuss quote. It's commonly used for graduation ceremonies and speeches like this. Nonetheless, I think it's very appropriate for us here today. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Today is our day. Let's get on our way. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next speaker is representing the faculty. It's Samantha Dorr.
Hello. Hello, class of 2017. Graduation is such an incredible time in your lives. It is a time to be proud of your accomplishments, to reflect on your time that you spent here at school, time before school, and look ahead towards your brighter futures that you've been moving towards. This particular graduation ceremony is very special to me because this is my last semester here. So I would like to share. That's not do it. I'm just leaking. That's fine. So I'd like to share how I experienced my time here with you, and hope that my experiences bring back fond memories to you as well in the time that you've spent here. One thing that I really love about this school is that we are so small. The community college truly feels like a community to me. We all know each other. We all grew together as people. We shared our joys, our sorrows. We all shared in the stresses for upcoming exams. Maybe you guys a little bit more than I did, but we shared in those times. And for those of you who have taken my classes, I really felt privileged that I was able to get to know all of you. And even for those of you who have not taken biology, I still recognize your faces from the hallways. And from all the hours that you spent working hard in the Learning Resources Centers. I see you guys there for hours. It's not often that you get to find a job where you just love going to work every day. Every morning, I looked forward to coming to school and spend time with all of you. And I got to talk with you about my favorite thing, which is biology. And granted, some of you may not have been as enthusiastic about biology as I was, but I respected that. But I loved the looks in your eyes when you learned something new and exciting. And I loved seeing the sense of accomplishment when you understood a difficult concept, such as that ATP is the energy currency of the cell. I loved seeing the sense of pride when you studied hard for an exam and passed it. And I really, really appreciate you guys laughing at like 80% of my puns. And I include the pity laughs. I really appreciated that. So some of my biology students are here today, and some of my older biology students are here today as well. And seeing all of you here just makes me feel so proud of all of you and what you've accomplished. I know that my classes are challenging, but I saw you all rise up to those challenges. And all you did what it took to reach your goals. And I think some of you, you found yourselves doing far more than even you thought that you were capable of. You should feel proud of your accomplishments, and you should. It takes courage. It takes courage to make the decision to further your schooling. It takes courage to master a challenging course, to better your writing skills, or to figure out the solutions to the math problems. All of you took on these challenges and have just become just such stronger, better, just amazing people. After all of this is done, I encourage you to take some time alone and reflect on your time here, who you were before you walked through these doors, and who you are afterwards, and truly appreciate how much you've learned and grown during your time here. You're all here right now at graduation, and you truly can achieve anything that you set your minds to. You are all amazing, and even though our time together was so short, I just want to thank you all for letting me be a part of your lives. Also, this is a community college, and I do want to acknowledge a lot of people in our community that have helped all of us during this time. So I'm going to mention a lot of the people who are out in the background. I wanted to start because these people all made this school special to all of us. I wanted to start with the ladies at the front desk, Anne, Vicki, Robin, and Amanda. You guys just do so much for the students. You guys made an awesome spread, and there's cake, and I'm just so excited about that. Also, without you guys and all of your help, I would have just died at the beginning of the semester. You guys do so much for all of us, so thank you for that. And just, I see you guys doing everything you can for the students, and just, you guys are awesome. I wanted to also thank Richard. Every morning you're there, and the college looks so beautiful, so thank you for that. Also, you mentioned the Bio 181 insect project. This last 181 class, a mouse came and ate all of their insects while they were drying. The entire project, this mouse came over the weekend and ate them all. And Richard set out so many traps, and he caught that mouse so that I was able to enact my vengeance. So thank you so much for that. I don't think Randy and Joe are here, but there are custodians. They keep everything clean. My microbiology class does samples from all over town to see how much bacteria is growing on them. And consistently, our college is the cleanest building in the town. So just FYI. Thank you, LQ, for all of your help with all of my technical issues. Oh, so many. And just seeing you always brought me a smile, so thank you for that. Ruth, Michelle, Tim, and Lee, who work in the Learning Resource Center. I got to see you guys every day, and I just loved all of you. You were just so wonderful, and you were just always willing to bend over backwards to help the students and do everything you can, so thank you. Thank you so much to Jim. You helped me so much when I was first starting out as a teacher here, and thank you for that. And I do also see you working with your students every day to help them with their writing and all those drafts. Ty, also, thank you for all of our conversations and helping me be a better teacher. And I see you work so hard every day for your students, and I could tell you love them so much too. Carol, also, thank you for, yeah, right. I saw Carol between classes a lot, and you just had the best specimens that you collected and preserved for your students so that they could have a real appreciation for geology. And I just had so much fun with you this semester. Thank you. Allie, the math teacher, she was my best friend this semester. So thank you for all of your kindness, generosity, and wisdom. I see you also hour upon hour doing everything you can for them. And I mean, all the teachers here, we all just love you guys so much. And just thank you for helping me to be the very best, like no one ever was. And of course, thank you so much to Dean Butterfield. You do so much for all of us here on campus. Thank you for believing in me and being there for me, and all the staff and all the students are always there for everyone. So thank you. And last but not least, I want to thank all the family, friends, and loved ones that are here today supporting these students. Once again, this is a community, and all of you are a part of that community. So thank you. I have never met most of you. I have met some of you. But I hear about you guys all the time. I hear about how you go over the note cards with them. Maybe some of you know that ATP is the energy currency of the cell. You go over their papers, you help them with their upcoming exams, you watch the kids at the last minute. But you provide this solid foundation of support for these students so that they can reach their goals, and so thank you for that. So once again, I mean, obviously this is about you guys and just how amazing you are, and I just can't reiterate enough how proud all of us are of you and how excited for your futures. And so while this is a community college, sometimes when I walk into my classroom, it feels like I'm going to see my family. And each semester, you're all my family, and I love all of you. And family, I'm quoting Lilo and Stitch, but family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. So even though I'm leaving for a different city, all of you will always be in my heart, and I will never forget you. So thank you.
Thank you, Sam, and I think I can speak for everyone here at GCC to say we will miss you too. And I wonder if our next biology teacher... And I wonder if our next biology teacher will be willing to stuff a mouse to commemorate its appetite. Our next speaker is Michael Herring. Michael Herring is the Chief Nursing Officer at Banner Payson Medical Center. He was born and raised in Arizona. Mr. Herring graduated from Northland Pioneer College with an ADN in 1996 and worked in different areas including hospice, long-term care, medical, surgical, and ultimately in emergency room nursing over 10 years. He also worked as a flight nurse for 5 years prior to getting into leadership. Mr. Herring first worked as the ED ICU manager at White Mountain Regional Medical Center and moved to the Chief Nursing Officer role soon thereafter. He graduated from Arizona State University with a BSN in 2011. Upon joining Banner Health, he completed an MSN in Nursing Leadership and an MBA from Grand Canyon University. While with Banner Health, Mr. Herring has had multiple roles, including Director of Emergency Department, Director of Oncology and Stem Cell, Associate Administrator of Banner MD Anderson Cancer Center, and now as Chief Nursing Officer at Banner Payson. Mr. Herring has been married for 24 years and has been blessed with 6 amazing children. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Herring.
I'm a lot taller than most people. First of all, I want to thank Dean Butterfield and this class for inviting me to be part of this evening. This morning at your pinning for the nursing students, I kept reflecting back to my moment there, which seemed like last week, but apparently it's been 21 years. But I'm extremely honored to be here this evening with you. As I was kind of reflecting over the last few weeks you've probably had with finals and last papers and just probably a little bit of stress in your life, I recently read kind of a funny story about 2 students at Duke University. There were 2 sophomores who were taking organic chemistry who did pretty well on all their quizzes, their midterms, their labs, etc. So going to the final exam, they both had solid A's, and they felt pretty confident going to the final, which was on Monday. So over the weekend, they decided to go to the University of Virginia to party with some friends. And like most party weekends, they got out a little later than they had planned. However, they didn't make it back to Duke until early Monday morning, and rather than taking the final unprepared, they found the professor after the final and explained to him why they had missed it. They told him that they went up to Virginia for the weekend and had planned to come back in time to study, but they had a flat tire on their way back. They didn't have a spare, and they couldn't get help for a long time. So they were late getting back to campus. The professor thought this over carefully and agreed they could make up the final on the following day. The 2 students were very, very elevated, relieved, and ecstatic that they could take it. So they studied that night and went into the next day at the time the professor had told them to come in. He placed them in separate rooms, handed each of them a test booklet and told them to begin. They looked at the first problem, which was something simple about free radical formation that was worth 5 of the 100 points. Cool, they thought, this is going to be easy. They did that problem and then turned the page. They were unprepared, however, when what they saw on the next page. It said for 95 points, which tire? So when I thought about this commencement, I reflected on each of you in kind of the last 2 years. And you think about the last 2 years and these amazing instructors behind me, but I remember the days of the biology assignments was not my favorite topic. It's all right. But the math classes, the clinical hours, the papers, when you think about all that, completing your degree should bring you a sense of pride and accomplishment, absolutely. You should feel very successful at what you've done. You have worked to allow yourselves better opportunities and experiences to grow both personally and professionally and create a better ability to have a better life. As we go through life, we're all looking to be happy and to have joy in our lives. Many of us look forward to completing a degree, getting a job, getting married, having that baby, and so forth, and feel that once we accomplish that, then we'll be happy. As we seek happiness and peace, we can easily get caught into a trap of thinking that a destination is where we'll find happiness and feel successful. When we obtain our associate's degree, we want a bachelor's degree. When we get a bachelor's degree, we want a master's degree. If only I lost some weight, then I'll be happy. If I had a better job, better car, better house. It goes on and on. We're always looking for the next mountain and think, when I get on top of that, then I'm going to be happy. I'd like to tell you a story about a man named Sandy Greenberg. When he was young, Sandy was a very good student, but he came from a very poor family. He had to work really hard, but was able to attend Columbia University on a scholarship, and there he met his roommate, who was also on financial aid. While Sandy was a sophomore at Columbia University, he contracted an eye disease that eventually proved to be a glaucoma. But unfortunately, in that day and age, It wasn't detected early enough, and as a result, he became legally blind. If you can imagine for a moment being Sandy, studying in a very competitive school and then losing so much sight that you could no longer read. How would you handle that? But something else happened to Sandy. This may surprise you. Sandy said that when he lost his sight, his roommate would read his textbooks to him every night. So imagine again that you're in a competitive school like Columbia, Harvard, and your roommate had a serious disability. Would you take the time to read textbooks to him every night, knowing that every minute you spend reading his textbooks, you're taking less time for yourself and accomplishing what you need to get done? It's not an easy question as it first appears. But luckily for Sandy, his roommate did. And as a result, Sandy went on to graduate with honors. He received Fulbright scholarship, and he went off to study at Oxford. He was still quite poor, but over the years he was able to save $500, which at that time was a lot of money. His roommate, meanwhile, also went to graduate school. And one day while at Oxford, Sandy received a call from his roommate and said, "Sandy, I'm really unhappy. I don't like being in graduate school. I don't want to do this." Sandy asked, obvious question, well, what do you want to do? His roommate told him, "Sandy, I really love to sing. I have a high school friend who plays the guitar, and we would really like to try our hand in the music business. But it costs about $500 to make a promo record." So Sandy Greenberg took all of his life savings of $500 and sent it to his roommate. When asked later why he would give all he had, all he said was, "You know, what else could I do? He made my life. I needed to help make his life." So I hope you remember the power of doing well by doing good. Each of you in your own lives will be faced with challenges, roadblocks, with problems that you didn't anticipate or expect. How you deal with adversity will be influenced to no small extent by how you deal with others along the way. What you get will depend a lot on what you give. And that's the end of the story of doing well by doing good. You're probably wanting to know who Sandy's roommate was. I think you've probably heard of him. Sandy's roommate was a young man by the name of Art Garfunkel. And he teamed up with another musician by the name of Paul Simon. That $500 helped him cut a record that eventually became The Sounds of Silence. Years later, at Sandy's daughter's wedding, it was Art Garfunkel who sang as Sandy walked his daughter down the aisle. No matter what degree, occupation, or experience we have through life, they will always give us the opportunity to impact the life of someone else. Through my career as a nurse, I've been blessed to have hundreds of people from different nationalities, races, religions, and walks of life impact my life. From holding the hand of someone as they take their last breath, to seeing a patient walk out of a hospital that shouldn't even be alive. The influence of these amazing people have affected everything I do. In each of our lives, we can seek to get better. Getting better as a person truly involves how and when we are able to have an impact or influence on someone else. As a nurse, I wanted to ensure that I was at my best in education and nursing practice, so every patient I cared for would have the best opportunity in having an amazing experience and outcome. As a teacher, business leader, manager, dietitian, or others, we can choose to become the best at what we do. The purpose of this personal improvement is that it allows us to be at our best in how we impact others. There's another short tale that I want to tell. Once upon a time, there was a greedy rich man who hired a great mathematician. The rich man wanted the mathematician to find the best way for him to make the greatest profit in everything he did. The rich man was building a huge safe in his home, and his greatest dream was to have it filled with money and gold and you name it. The mathematician was shut away for months in his study before finally believing he had found the solution. But he soon found there were some errors in his calculations, and he started all over again. One night, he appeared at the rich man's house. With a big smile on his face, "I found it," he said. "My calculations are perfect." The rich man was going on a long journey the next day and didn't have time to listen. He promised the mathematician he would pay him double his wages if he would take charge of the business while he was away. and put the new formulas into practice. Excited by his new discovery, the mathematician was delighted to accept. When the rich man returned months later, he found that all his possessions were gone. Furious, he went to ask for an explanation from the mathematician. The mathematician calmly told him what he had done. He had given everything away to people. The rich man couldn't believe it. The mathematician explained it further. For months, I analyzed how a rich man could gain the maximum benefit, but what I could do was always limited. There's a limit of how much one man can do by himself. Then I understood the key was that many people could help us achieve the aim. So the conclusion was that helping others was the best way to get more and more people to benefit us. Disappointed and furious, the greedy man stormed off, desperate at having lost everything to the harebrained schemes of a madman. However, while he was walking away distraught, several neighbors ran over, worried about him. All of them had been helped when the mathematician shared out the rich man's fortune. They felt so grateful to him that they offered him the hospitality of their houses and anything such a special man might need. The neighbors even argued who would get to help him. Over the next few days, he saw the full results of what the mathematician had calculated. Wherever he went, he was received with great honor, and everyone was willing to help him in whatever they could do. He realized that this was not having anything. He realized that his not having anything had given him much, much more. In this way, he managed to quickly set up flourishing businesses, but this time he followed the brilliant mathematician's advice. No longer did he keep his riches in his safe or anything like it. Instead, he shared out his fortune among 100 friends, whose hearts he had converted into the safest, most grateful, and fruitful of safes. As we get older, we ask ourselves if my life made a difference. I've had this recently when my daughter and her husband told me I was going to be a grandpa. I still feel like I'm 18, but apparently I'm not. That day is our personal reckoning. And I think the only way to face it is to consider every day of our life. How can I do something for somebody else? How can I give back to others? It may be teaching, it may be nursing, it may be running a successful business. No matter your career path, there will always be the opportunity to give back. The chance will present itself to be giving of your time, giving of your money, but mostly to be giving of yourselves, of your own heart and soul. My hope today, as you commence to new beginnings, is you will always keep your eyes open for those opportunities to give and embrace them as you seek to truly be happy and find success. True happiness is not a destination, but enjoying the life we have every day. The good, the bad, the success, the failure are all experiences that allow us to become our best selves. As we lose ourselves in thinking of others, we lose sight of our own challenges and sorrows that can discourage us. True happiness and joy come from the happiness and joy we bring others. In closing, I would like to quote one of the ultimate examples of selfless service, Mother Teresa. You have never really lived until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. Thank you, and good luck in your journey.
Thank you, Mike. Our final speaker is Bobby Davis. Bobby serves as the Economic Development Specialist for the town of Payson. In this capacity, Bobby plays a vital role in business retention and expansion by recruiting new businesses and working with current business owners for future growth. He has played a key role with more than 50 businesses that have expanded or located in Payson, creating more than 300 jobs in the last 2.5 years. Prior to his work with the town of Payson, Mr. Davis worked with BBVA Compass Bank, where he helped double the new business accounts within the first year. Before that, Mr. Davis spent 7 years at the Payson Roundup newspaper as the marketing and advertising director. Mr. Davis proudly served his country in the United States Marine Corps from 1971 to 1977. Mr. Davis serves on many boards, including as a council member for the town of Star Valley, CAG Regional Council member of Star Valley, Arizona. Local First Arizona, he's a board member representing Gila County. Rim Country Regional Chamber of Commerce as an advisor to the board for the town of Payson. Big Brothers Big Sisters, Kiwanis Club of Payson, and he was the Kiwanis International Governor, Southwest District, 2011 to 2012. And there was many more on his resume, but I decided those were the key ones. Mr. Davis and his wife Nina have been married for 35 years and reside in Star Valley. He's a proud father of 3 daughters and 1 son and 7 grandchildren. So please join me in welcoming Bobby Davis.
Good evening. Dean Butterfield, board members, faculty, parents, family, friends, and to you, the graduates. Do we have any Texans in the house? Anybody from Texas? No. Oh, there's one. Thank God. Well, I grew up in West Texas. And as most Texans, I'm very proud of being from Texas, my Texas heritage. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm bilingual. I speak fluent Texan and a little bit of English. Very little. So as I'm speaking tonight, and I say some words that you don't understand, just know that in the Texas language, it's very important and it means something, okay? So if you're sitting close to this Texan, one, thank goodness we have one, she might be able to interpret for us, okay? When Dean Butterfield called me and asked me to speak tonight, first of all, I was very flattered to have Dean Butterfield call me and ask me to speak to this great group of graduates. Sometimes you question yourself. You say, am I qualified to do something like this? A lot of times we second guess ourselves. Then I thought, with over 40 years of business experience, what can I leave the graduates of the class of 2017 with? Here are a few of my thoughts, keeping in mind that I work with businesses every day and I work with people that hire businesses. The world doesn't owe you anything. I know that's pretty harsh, but they don't. You have to blaze your own trail. You need to show up for work, and you need to earn your pay. Keep your word. Your word is your bond. At first, you will not be able to live with the same standard of living as your parents do. They didn't get here overnight, and neither will you. You were brought into this world with nothing. You will leave with nothing. But the only thing you will leave with is your name and your reputation. So make sure you keep that intact. Learn to think outside the box. Businesses are desperately looking for well-adjusted, free-thinking people, just like yourself. Take a break from your smartphone. Let me repeat that again. Take a break from your smartphone. How do we live without them? We can for a short period of time. Give back to your community. Join a service organization. It's one of the biggest problems in our communities and our towns now because nobody has time to give back to their communities. There's still 24 hours in the day, just like there were in the beginning. We just feel like it's so much faster because of our smartphones and our social media and all the things that take up that time. You have to make time to make a difference. I'm going to repeat that one more time. You have to make time to make a difference. You can make a difference. All you have to do is try. There's a quote here that I read that I don't know who wrote it, or I'd give them credit, but it says, volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. You vote in an election once a year, but when you volunteer, you vote every day about what kind of community you want to live in. So give back. Here's a question for you. What's the first essential skill that you think of when you think of a successful person? Some would answer, well, it's technical skills. Others might say, he's a great communicator, or being a visionary. These skills are important, but there's one trait successful people share that more than any other set them apart from the rest. It's a skill I have observed in over 40 years of coaching leaders and entrepreneurs. And simply put, it's this. Successful people are about letting go of the mistakes and learning from their failures. That may not seem like a big deal, but for many people, the idea of staying safe and never failing, and the inability to let go of the past, keep them stuck in the past for years, like a deer in the headlight. Hasn't that happened to all of us throughout our lives and our careers? It's easy to get stuck, and it's easy to get that deer in the headlight look. Learning from your mistakes is huge, and it's a skill you can learn. Here are some of the ways that highly successful people let go and learn. They try harder. Successful people don't let wounded pride hold them back. They don't give up, but keep trying until they get it right. Life doesn't require that we be the best, just that we try our best. They get back up as many times as it takes. Everybody gets knocked down once in a while, but successful people know it's failing to get back up that's truly damaging. As the old saying goes, fall 7 times, get up 8. They're constantly experimenting. What happened yesterday, you can't do anything about yesterday. It's gone. That's why they call it history. Today is a new day, a new chance to try out new ideas. Successful people don't let past failures keep them from experimentation that they are learning from, even if they know it might mean failures. They give themselves a break. Sometimes we let failures turn us into our own worst and hardest critics, talking to ourselves in ways that we never would accept from anybody else. Recognize this as a protective mind trick to keep you playing small. Instead, follow the lead of successful people. Be gentle with yourself and move on. They stay focused on the future. Successful people know that the way to have a great future is to create it, one step at a time. They don't fret about what they're messed up or lost. They give their energy to the things they want to gain. They know that the future comes only one day at a time, so they keep putting one foot in front of the other. They believe in themselves. If you believe in yourselves, anything is possible. It really is that simple. Most of us forget this fact, or we don't even believe it to begin with. But successful people know that believing in themselves makes them unstoppable. This is another one I want to repeat. Successful people know that believing in themselves makes them unstoppable. They never stop learning. Some people may think they know it all. I'm sure you've never Run across anybody like that, huh? But the most successful people are constant learners, humble about how much they don't know and always curious to discover something new. They know that learning isn't cumulative, but a never-ending process. They know that every problem has a solution. Most of us are easily overwhelmed by problems. We avoid even thinking about them because we get bogged down. Successful people view problems as opportunities to find new solutions. Keep your focus on the answer, not the problem. They don't give themselves permission to they give themselves permission to succeed. They don't wait for anyone else to allow them to live the life they want or step into whose they're meant to be. They play it big, bold, they take risks, and they don't worry about whether others approve. Don't always look for approval. Make your own. They release their fear. It's not that successful people are not, they're fearless. They feel fear, take chances anyway. Risk and danger are real, but fear is a choice. Sometimes you might have to do things that scare us the most to achieve something extraordinary. Treat your fears and failures like the temporary limits they are. Let go of the past and go live your own successful life. As you go on in graduation, I hope that at some point in time in your life, you'll decide to come back to Payson and come talk to me. And let me find you a job here in Payson so that you can grow your family and make our community much stronger. To the graduating class of Gila Community College 2017, don't look back. Your future is in front of you. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Bobby. So now it is the time for the degree announcements. If the students would line up onto the side of the stage, please. And while they're doing that, I'll mention, please notice that some students are wearing a gold and purple honors stole, which represents that they've graduated with honors, a 3.5 GPA or higher. And also a few students are wearing a bright orange sash, and that represents that they are members of the Honor Society Phi Theta Kappa. Governing Board President Jay Spihar will award the diplomas here, and Ty Jones will announce the students.
Justin.
Forgot to mention something. Families, if you'd like to take photographs, this is the time. You can come up to the center aisle while your student is receiving their diploma, and we'll take time for you to take pictures. So feel free to move into the center aisle if you'd like. Thank you. Sorry about that time.
Justin Ray Cobb, Associate of Arts, Business Administration. Amber Nicole Schleiss, Associate of General Studies. Betty Ann Stoner, Associate of Arts, Secondary Education. Karina Amber Chapin, Associate of General Studies. Amanda M. Contreras, Associate of General Studies. Sarah Lowe, Associate of General Studies. Mariah A. Bacon, Associate of Arts, Forestry. Shelby Lynn Baker, Associate of General Studies. Chloe Rose Obrecht, Associate of Applied Science, Fire Science. Lena Isabel Obrecht, Associate of General Studies. Morgan Lynn Chilson, Associate of Applied Science, Nursing. Nicole Wilson, Associate of Applied Science, Nursing. Alicia Ray Perch, Associate of Applied Science, Nursing. Becky Randall, Associate of Applied Science, Nursing. Jessica K. Klein, Associate of Applied Science, Nursing. Bill Charcozy, Associate of Arts, Business Administration.
Would all the graduates please stand? Please take a moment to move your tassel to the other side, signifying your degree. And if you would turn around and face the audience, and let's give them a good round of applause. Okay, please join us for refreshments in the back of the room, and thank you for coming this evening.